This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
So there was I think it was even yesterday, where all my troubles seem so far away now, it looks as though they're here to stay. Your second favorite Beatles song, behind Let It Be. I learned that yesterday. And I learned a lot about you. I think yesterday I made the statement, and it's probably going to be nominated for preposterous statement. I said that you are the foremost hockey expert in the Twin Cities. As far as I'm concerned, you trump Louis, you trump Russo, you trump Walls, you trump. If Lieber talks hockey, that means Rosen must too, but only when Lieber does, right? You trump Lieber, Rosen. And then I asked you yesterday, about the Wild, and you said, well, maybe a fringe playoff team. No! Fringe playoff team. Sure looked like a fringe playoff team last night.
Yesterday I was lying. Today I'm telling the truth.
It was do you want to apologize to the Wild for?
Maybe a little early for that.
Oh, well, no, come on now. Get on the bandwagon.
It was encouraging last night.
What encouraging? Kaprizov is on pace to have 283 points. Is that the number? What's 3 times 82?
240. Like 246?
He's on pace for 246. You can't argue with the math. We're on pace to go 82-0 and outscore the opposition. What's 5-0 times 82? What's 82 times 5?
It's 400, over 400.
Yeah, and you were telling me, well, we'll scrap around and keep our fingers crossed and hope we make the playoffs. And we can build this thing together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us. I thought we were going to get a little Nothing's Gonna Stop Us. What was that ditty you did on the montage?
I never played that one before.
What was that?
It's kind of a kid's song within the last, 15 years or so.
Well, we're trying to get younger.
It's Good Feeling by Florida.
Oh, by Florida.
Yeah.
We talked the other day, we were talking about bands that were named after cities or states. How about the individual? Florida is named after Florida.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know how to pronounce it. So he says
Florida better.
So Florida, and what was the name of that one again?
Good Feeling.
Good Feeling. Well, I'll tell you what, we're feeling pretty good after that. A couple of the old standbys. Was it Hartman and who's our netminder? Gustafson. Is it Gustav or Goose? All I know is he pitches a shutout.
Yeah.
And you were doubting that contract extension a little bit, weren't you?
Last night was about as good as I've seen him look.
Yeah.
He was completely in control.
Yeah. He was, the stick was his brush. The puck was his paint. And the ice was his canvas.
The crease was his canvas?
The crease was his canvas. I mean, he was just simply brilliant last night. And I didn't see a minute of it. But I don't need to. It's the esoteric approach. I just look at it. It's 5-0. Power play. First power play.
They got one.
No, the first power play, though, no shots, no goals, Tenna. The second
first power play was awful.
Right, but they took no shots. If you do not shoot, you do not score.
Well, the problem is they couldn't get into the offensive zone, so it's hard to shoot if you don't get into the offensive zone.
And I think, did they score in the second or third power play?
I don't remember which one it was, but it was the Eriksson Neck tap in to make it 3-0.
And they took a shot. See, that's how it works. See, I've got a great hockey mind. If you do not shoot the puck, you cannot score. It's like in boxing. If I hit my opponent more times than he hits me, I will win the fight tonight. It's as simple as that.
I will say 2 of the goals scored last night. If you are in the shoot camp,
yes,
then last night was a good night for you to back up your argument.
Yes.
Because the Eriksson Ek goal, Boldy shot that thing. It was off a face-off win. He shot that from basically just inside the blue line by the boards, which is one of the worst shots you could have.
Correct.
But what Boldy recognized was we have them outnumbered 2-1 in front of the crease, so I just want to get the puck there.
That's it.
Kaprizov deflects it. Eriksson Ek puts it in. And then the Rossi goal, which was the 5th goal, that was another play where Kaprizov was shooting from a very similar area. He just turned around and shot it from really far out from a bad angle. And Rossi found himself all alone out in front of the slot for the rebound.
Shooting a 74, unlike let me read that again. I'm having trouble reading. Shooting a 74, having an experience that's not unlike that of a PGA Tour player, birth of his children, last night's Wild game, Tennessee's best days of his life. Would you rank that Wild season opening victory, 5-0 complete dominance, as one of the best days in your life?
I mean, it's hard to...
It's hard not to, right? And if I was a hockey guy, I would be too. Dylan from Cities 97, right? Not Dylan from Traffic.
I'm Dylan.
Yeah, but Dylan from Cities 97. He's a sports guy, too, right? He loves baseball. So, but the other day, just now, he said, how about them Wild? I go, yeah, I saw that they won. And then he said, pretty good, hon. I go, if you like hockey. I just always take the wind out of his sails because he wants to really get pumped up about all the local teams. And I just always have, you know what? It's Wet Blanket Wednesday on a Friday. I can't help myself.
Next time you see Dylan and you walk by him in the hallway, I've observed something with him. Whatever day of the week it is, he will say happy, and then the day of the week that's his introduction to you.
That's exactly what.
He'll be walking by, he's like, happy Friday.
And when he says happy Friday, you know what I say? Every day's a Friday to me. I'm just a wet blanket guy. I say every day's a Friday to me. Because it really is. Every day's
an off day, I would say that for you.
Well, that's true. And you know what's really nice about this Wild win? Because we didn't have to spin the wheel at the top. Because I started out brilliant. It's just kind of some days it gets away from you. I shot an 84 at Presswick. But you know what was nice then to me? I was consistent, 42-42. Certainly not as consistent as the Wild. But, good for them. So they're 1-0 on pace to be 82-0. And now who do they play next?
They got Columbus at home tomorrow night.
Did Columbus win or lose their opener? Have they not played yet?
I'm sure they've played. I have not been tracking my Columbus Blue Jackets hockey up until this point.
Can you take a quick look?
Let me check out the standings.
Yeah, take a look at the standings.
Looks like they lost in regulation.
So one team's 1-0, the other's 0-1. Somebody's
has got to go.
I guess it really doesn't have to because they can do shootout ties. Can you actually get? Is there actually any such thing as a tie anymore in hockey, or is there no chance of that?
No, there's no chance. That's why they go to the shootout.
And they just keep doing the shootout over and over. So it technically a shootout could last 4 hours. I know that would never happen, but technically it could, right? If they just kept score. So okay, well then.
Columbus lost to Nashville 2-1, and tomorrow is a battle of the two teams that are having 25-year anniversaries. Because they both came in as expansion franchises together 25 years ago.
Do they have more glory years than we do?
No, the Wild do.
Whoa, wait a minute. We've not had a glory year. Well, we had one.
Compared to the Columbus Blue Jackets, we have. We've been in the playoffs much more often than they have.
But I'm just talking about a glory year. I mean, the only glory year we had, I would say, would be we got to the Western Conference. So just making the playoffs isn't a glory year.
Then the Wild have one glory year. I would think the Blue Jackets have 0.
They have 0. They've never. Why did I think not long ago they had a really good club and made a push? I must be confusing them with another Blue Jackets club or another Columbus team, maybe Ohio State, because they're always really good. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Peek at the purple. There's not much to peek at. They're not even in town. There's not. I think the new Winter Park, a.k.a. Twin Cities Orthopedic Performance Center thing, my guess is it's a ghost town over there, much like this radio station is. There's nobody around. But we'll do that nonetheless on the other side of the break. Right now, though, Tennessee has a keyword for the National Cash Contest right here on The Fan.
The Fan in 2 minutes, a junk truck, want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks for their national cash contest. Just enter the keyword bank at KFAN.com. Right now, free shot at winning. The keyword is bank. Enter now at KFAN.com. The audience to help in on this one. You think they would help out on this vibe?
Okay, why not?
Comedians Hassan Minaj and Ronnie Chang hate each other. And they're taking it public. Catch Hassan hates Ronnie. Ronnie hates Hassan at the Orpheum Theater Saturday, November 1st. 2 comedy legends. 1 epic roast battle. Get the full details right now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
We have a live studio audience. Beef jerky guy. He makes beef jerky. Brought in some samples. Travis, Kyle, and Jeremy. I'll get it right. I'll eventually get all 3 names right. We have a live studio audience today, Tennessee. You're telling me, and I think you're pulling my leg, that they actually paid money to a charity to sit in the studio and watch somebody talk on the microphone. They actually paid money.
Are they regretting it already?
Well, I told them, right, this happens occasionally, and the first thing I tell them every time is, if you leave after the first segment, my feelings won't be hurt. Because I understand, they go, okay, he's talking, his lips are moving, he's not AI, he's not a robot. Okay, that was fun, and then just leave. And I've had people who they go, hey, you know what? We got to kind of go. I got some socks I got to sort. I've got some paint I need to watch dry, and they're delivering a boiling vat of asphalt to my house later on today. And they give that window from 2 to 8, so I don't know when they'll be there. So they're welcome to stay or go anytime they want. We have a really big shoe today. No 534 because Lil B, the feminine touch of the program, she will be on this place sometimes. She will be with us at 1 o'clock, and then at 1:30 will be time for program password, and it's
Max Fuller. He'll be your teammate today. So the Drip Brothers are back, and then Lil B along with Julia Daniels of Care 11.
And so we have one from Care and one from Fox. Because Max was over.
They're competing.
Fox.
Yeah, they're competitors.
So they're going toe to toe.
They kind of do different things, but
yes, right. But they work from competing television stations.
And apparently, I wasn't here, but Julia played on your team for Password once. So back in the spring, it was apparently you and Julia versus.
Oh, I remember, and I do remember. And
Lil B and Alexis Pearson.
Who won?
You guys did. You guys destroyed them.
We make beautiful music together. You're breaking up. It's like breaking up the Yankees. I don't know why you're doing that, but that's okay. I like Max. That's cool. Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. Remember, today's the last day. I mean, look, I know it's National Fire Safety Prevention Week, and my friends at Affordable Electric wanted me to bring it up and say, hey, if you want to have your hardwired smoke detectors checked and just make sure your house is ship-shape in case there's a fire, they're willing to come on over to your place and do that and help you out there and make any replacements or adjustments that you might need. But even though it's, the week ends on, this National Fire Safety Prevention Week ends, that doesn't mean that fire safety ends after the end of the week. So if you need them next week or the week after, want to have them come over to your place, just go to affordable-electric.com, affordable-electric.com. And remember, Affordable Electric is, get ready for it, brace yourself. It's shockingly affordable. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Vikings are on a bye. And there's Peek at the Purple, brought to you by affordable-electric.com. Do you have anything Viking related that you think is of interest other than I've been told by the coroner's office football always wins, particularly Vikings. So you just talk Vikings or football. You can talk about every segment, 365 days a year, and people love it. I'm already getting a little quarterback controversy talked out. I don't know what else I can add to it other than I'd love to see McCarthy be our quarterback for the next 10, 12, 15 years, but I'm willing to ride Wentz. I think he'll play. And this Eagles club is starting to fall apart like a cheap suit. That's 2 losses in a row. Though, did you know, Tennessee, they took my advice and they ran the tush-push 4 plays in a row? They never stopped. They just ran it. And when I brought up that they should run the play every play, you and Rosen mocked me. Well, they didn't run it for every play, just 4. But they did run it 4 times in a row. But they lost to the... And I did not catch any of that. There was so much going on last night. I decided to opt for... I don't like to be, I don't like to hurt the feelings of any of the local teams or any of the sports teams for that matter. So I opted for Gilligan's Island last night. But the Eagles lost. That's 2 in a row. And now we're going to get the stories. What's wrong with the Eagles? Can the Eagles be fixed? And I don't know. This is the way the National Football League works, tend to be, and I think they like it this way. And quite frankly, I do too. I like on any given Sunday. I like when there's this. What do we call it? What's the word we use? Parody. I like it. I think it's enjoyable from week to week. You just don't know. You see these teams get out. I think this is the first time since I don't remember what year it was, but it's been a number of years. I think like 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 that. Through 6 weeks, we've not had an undefeated team in the NFL. That for years now, we've always had at least one undefeated team. Now there are none. Every team has at least 1 loss, which is kind of fun. And then you watch these teams that get off. Like the Eagles got off to another fine start this season, right? They looked like they were picking up where they left off.
They're beating good teams.
Yeah, beating good teams, and then now they lose 2 in a row. And the Dart kid, now again, I don't know if you watched it. I didn't. I look at the numbers that I saw and the reports I read. It sounded like he's like a combination of Phil Simms, Danny DeVito, and Joe Pisarcik. I mean, he's got some talent, right?
Jeff Hostetler.
Jeff Hostetler, that's who I was thinking. Well, Joe Pisarcik, too.
I like Danny DeVito as a quarterback,
yes,
too.
well, he was. Is he still in the league?
He struggled to see over the line a little bit.
Well, he's short.
Yeah.
It's hard to see where he's going. So, anyway. Hard to see over the line when you...
I did not watch the game last night, though. I did see the photograph of Brian Dable, their head coach, peeking into the blue tent because apparently Jackson Dart was in concussion protocol.
Oh.
And funny, he peeked into the tent and he was able to go after that.
Oh, isn't that
funny?
I've always had that suspicion. Though I will say this, there have been times when players have gone into the concussion tent, you're going, well, they can't pull him out of the game. It's a critical game, and he's their best player. But they're out. But I have often wondered if some guys, it's like, they hold up two fingers and they go, I see four, you're fine, go back. And we know we need you, right?
Yeah.
But, and I would hope they don't do that. And, there's that argument. I remember, a boxer will say, well, nobody put a gun to my head and told me to get in the ring. If I want to get in the ring in box, Ledoux, the late Scott Ledoux, when he was stopped by Larry Holmes, the referee stopped the fight. His eye was all swollen. Scott was annoyed, pissed, wanted the fight to go on. In the media scrum afterwards, they said, well, the doctor said you could lose an eye. And then Ledoux said, what's an eye when you've given your heart? He was willing to continue to fight. Now, brilliant. I still think somebody has to step in at that point. You can't just because he doesn't mind losing an eye, I don't think you want to do that. But that's why I think you do need someone. Someone would say, well, if he wants to keep, the steroid people would say the same thing. Well, if he wants to do steroids, what business is it of ours? Other than it makes an unlevel playing field. Not everybody wants to have their head grow the size of a beach ball, and they don't want there are, from what I understand from steroid use, there can be plenty of a bad side effects. So people don't want to do that. But so that Philly now, they don't look so unbeatable anymore. Maybe Brosmer should start. Let's see what he's got. I mean, because I think we can beat the Eagles with anybody at quarterback now.
Well, it is funny, like this 4-game stretch we have coming up that we thought was going to be extremely challenging for the Vikings. Philadelphia, at Chargers, at Detroit, home to Baltimore. I'm not going to act like that's an easy 4-game stretch, but Philadelphia doesn't look as unbeatable as they once were. The Chargers have lost 2 in a row, including to that same Giants team the Eagles lost to last night. Now, Detroit looks good. Yeah. But Baltimore, depending on the health of Lamar Jackson at the time, and he's not going right now. Yeah. But even if he does play, their defense isn't playing very well. Yeah. So now the Vikings in their current state, I think, can kind of lose to anybody.
Right, sure.
Right?
I get that.
They're not good enough to just assume they can beat mediocre teams. But a stretch that maybe I thought, man, we're going to be 0-4, 1-3 at best. Now maybe you can scrounge out a 2-2 or maybe even a 3-1 out of that. Well,
and even with Detroit, they are playing well, and they're ranked number one. Again, you heard Chuck Edel, and he's right. Their secondary is a mess again. They're the 4 guys they started. 2 of the cornerbacks are gone, and I think a backup is gone. So they are now. Their secondary is made up of the same kind of pieces as the Vikings' offensive line. In other words, second and third stringers. So the Lions could struggle there, and we'll see how it goes. They play Kansas City on Sunday night. But you're right. I guess that's the beauty and the bane of the league. Your team can look unbeatable for a while, then they lose a couple of games, lose a couple of players, and then they're just, middle of the pack. Not Green Bay, you just know what I mean, middle of the pack kind of a club. And then you can be like some teams like the Giants were given up for dead, and probably should be, right? Well, now they've just won 2 games against Chargers and Eagles, and they're now 2-3 or 2-4, whatever they are. I'm not trying to say they should start planning a ticker tape parade in the Giants, but the Giants sure do look a lot better than they did a few weeks ago. So it changes pretty quick. Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric for all of your electrical needs. Affordable-electric.com. A little distat lat. I've got some more. I don't have anything. I was going to say I have more controversial Vikings news. I have nothing. But we'll get to the top of the hour, and then Little B with the feminine touch right here on the Fan.
Actor and comedy legend Adam Sandler is coming to Grand Casino Arena October 22nd. From Happy Gilmore to Billy Madison, he's bringing the laughs live. Want to win your way in? Check out KFAN.com, keyword contest for your shot at tickets. That's KFAN.com, keyword calendar to enter today.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. He's 10 and B. I bet we have a smorgasbord of games on, even though we don't have the Vikings this week, right? Sunday we'll probably do a doubleheader action. I can't imagine the excitement that'll be building as we get ready for.
We will have NFL, but it says teams TBA. So Tubba's playing.
Tubba's playing. So to be announced, as we like to say. We'll see how.
We will have Detroit, Kansas City on.
I think
on Sunday night football.
On Sunday night football, waiting all day for Sunday night. Too bad we don't have Da Bears. A couple of inside jokes there. Sorry.
I always love that one.
I know unless the local baseball team, which doesn't happen very often anymore, is in postseason play. I don't know about you, Tennessee. I kind of watch with. I don't even know with a half an eye. I glance at scores and such like that. But I see once again, at least the Yankees have been eliminated, but the Dodgers Philadelphia, look, they were going to even the series at 2. They were up 1-0 in the 7th, and the Dodgers win. So Dodgers advance. The Brewers, who were jumped out to a 2-0 lead over the rival Chicago Cubs, lost to the Cubs, so they're going to a 7th game, or a 5th and deciding game. And same thing in Detroit. Detroit and Seattle play today, and that's do you remember when we first built the goose that laid? Well, we did build it. The Pohlats kind of helped build it. They gave us some of the money. But when we built the goose that laid the golden egg, I remember the very first year. Weather was pretty good for that first round, but we lost to the Yankees. Do you remember we were up 3-0 on CC Sabathia in like the 6th inning? We literally, game 1, were beating the Yankees, and then the rug got pulled out from under us. I don't remember who was pitching for us. He got battered, and that was the end of it, and we were done. We lost 3 in a row. But how about it? My biggest complaint about the new stadium was, well, you got to have a roof on it in this kind of a climate, because in the middle of summer, it's wonderful to have an open-air stadium, but heaven forbid we ever get to postseason play, and people are just suck it up. Wear a heavy coat and hat. I was never talking about the comfort of the fans. I was talking about just baseball's supposed to be, they call them the boys of summer.
Yeah.
The boys of summer. And it's the fall classic, not the midwinter NHL All-Star game, And so I remember 7-8 years ago, I think the Phillies were in the World Series, and their home games were like first pitch 32 degrees. I mean, that's not playing baseball. That's not, and I know in the fall you're going to get colder temperatures, but you should be mid 50s, upper 50s at first pitch, and maybe drop down to upper 40s late in the game. So, but how about the weather right now if we were in postseason?
That'd be great.
This weather's just been spectacular.
Maybe when they built Target Field, they saw climate change coming.
Maybe they did. The last couple of years, it seems like we're more like the Kansas City climate than we are the Minneapolis climate. Wolves lost last night, right? Did I see that? Did they lose?
Did they?
I think they lost in a squeaker to the New York Basketball Rangers, I think, or New York
Bodega Cat?
Knickerbockers. Yeah, Bodega. Well, I was just scanning. I'll hit refresh every once in a while when I use my handheld computer as a communication device to kind of keep track of the local teams when I'm not watching. And so I looked, and Bodega was really good. Bodega was rebounding at will. He was dominating the boards, and I think.
Well, they lost in overtime.
Yeah, they lost in overtime. It was an overtime loss. And so, are we 0-2 now in the season?
Ant played. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine. Well, about time. I don't know where he was the game before. Did you see the annual general managers rankings?
For which sport?
NBA.
I did not.
It was in The Athletic, and I hope I saved it. If not, I'll find it. They did their apparently there's the anonymous general manager rankings. I guess they conduct these every year. I really wasn't aware of that, but no, I'm not going to be able to find it. Because they, well, the only two that really, I think really mean anything to us is Anthony Edwards was picked, all the general managers weighed in, the best.
Oh, so when you said GM rankings, I thought we were ranking the GMs, but no, the GMs were ranking everything else.
All sorts of things. Yes, I'm sorry. I should have made that more clear, but you know me, I'm not very bright. Not only do I have 4 years of college eligibility remaining, but 2 of high school as well. They said Anthony Edwards, Ant is the best shooting guard in the NBA. He was ranked number 1. Yeah. And what was interesting, I think he was last year as well. I wish I had the story in front of me.
Is SGA not a shooting guard? Is he a small forward?
You have to talk to Big Ticket about that. Of course, he's not paying as close attention to the league as he once did, so I don't know if he knows that for a fact or not. I thought I saved the story. I guess it doesn't really matter if I saved the story or not. I do know that, but it was by like 23% of those weighing in on it. Now it was like 43, so he's an overwhelming choice. You know who was rated the best assistant coach in the league?
Oh, I did see that. Our guy.
Yeah. Is it Nori? N-O-R-I? Is that how you say his name, Nori? He was selected as the best assistant coach in the National Basketball Association. And the story, they extrapolated that out to say he's probably going to get a head coaching job one of these days. But yeah, so it's
well, so one of them, I'm now reading some of the poll, and I find this one interesting. I wish Rosen was in here today.
Okay.
If you were starting a franchise today and could sign any player in the NBA, who would it be? 83% picked Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
And Rosen just scoffed at that.
He scoffed at it. When I said, would you trade Ant for Victor Wembanyama? No. Just right away, no.
And Ant's not even in the top 3.
And then he said, not in a million years. He did that. Not in a million years. And, here's part of the problem. And I love Rosen. We all do. He's got Homer in him. He loves going to the games. That's his favorite. He'll make his way to Lower Town or Boom Town, wherever the Wild are. He'll go there with his daughter once or twice, but he loves his Wolves basketball. He thinks they're going to be the number 2 seed. And so, he loves Anthony Edwards. And who doesn't? Ant lives rent-free in my head. That's how much I like him. I allow him to live in my head without paying me a red cent. He lives rent-free in my head. But the Wembanyama character, is that what the 83% said?
83%.
Yeah.
Starting a franchise today.
Yeah.
And then best point guard in the NBA, SGA got 73% of the vote.
Okay. But
then for best shooting guard in the NBA, SGA got tied for third for 7% of the vote.
Right.
So you got both.
Yeah. Well, he's probably a combo platter kind of a guy, depending.
He's a combo guard is what he is.
He's a combo guard.
Ant got 70% of the vote with best shooting guard in the NBA.
Yeah. What were some of the others? Did other than Nori and Ant? I don't know if we got it. And did they also make predictions of where?
Yeah, the teams would land.
And they said 4th, I think.
Minnesota's 4th in the West. Yes. They got 3% of the vote for second.
Okay. What percentage?
Oh no, the total percentage. So 4 points for a first place vote, 3 points for second, 2 places for third, 1 for fourth. So for second place, Oklahoma City got 10%, Denver got 53%, Houston got 23%, and then Minnesota, along with 3 others, got 3%.
Yeah.
Looks like we got a decent amount of third place votes and fourth place votes.
So in the people I trust that really know the NBA, which ESPN's, was it Wish Nish? No, he was doing the hockey.
He's a hockey guy.
Somebody did the one where they had the Wolves as the 8th seed, right?
Yes, that was kind of like their analytics.
Yeah, their analytics had them as 8. Then the general managers have the Wolves at the 4 seed. Rosen, the authority, the voice that I trust, he has the Wolves at number 2. And he just knew he couldn't say number one because that'd be too preposterous.
Yeah.
As good as but as good as OKC was last year. And they're bringing back pretty much their entire roster, if I'm not mistaken. So hard to repeat. We get that. I understand it. It's very difficult to do. But when you bring back a team that played as well as OKC did, it's hard not to at least go, well, hard to repeat, but if anybody's going to, of recent vintage, I would have to say you would have to go with Oklahoma City. Pretty good.
There is another Minnesota player that made one of these questions, one of these answers.
Oh, which one?
Which rookie was the biggest steal at where he was selected in the draft?
Beranger?
Beranger is tied for fourth with 7% of the vote. He was drafted 17th overall.
Yeah. I think they're starting to like Beranger. Jim Peterson does. I do. Rosie wants to see him in Iowa all season. He played last night. His numbers.
Here's another one. Who's the best defensive player in the NBA? Rudy Gobert tied for second.
Rudy Gobert.
With 7% of the vote. Victor Wembanyama got 80% of the vote.
Let me ask you this about Gobert, and I know you're not paying as close attention to the National Basketball Association as you once did, and it's mostly because you hate the squeaky shoes on the court. Just drives you insane.
It is a bad sound.
Have you ever thought about just putting the mute on? Well, you do that noon to 3. You put the mute on my mic. I know you don't hear much of what I say, but just put the mute on. I thought Gobert was not quite as... I mean, he's won Defensive Player of the Year, I think 4 times. But I thought for some reason he wasn't quite as good last year. Maybe I'm just misremembering, as Roger Clemens once said. I mean, I still like him.
He just has some limitations.
Yeah, he does have limitations. And a man has got to know his limitations.
Best defensive team in the NBA. OKC got 83% of the vote. Your Minnesota Timberwolves tied for second with 10% of the vote. Them and the Orlando Magic.
Think about how far, though, that is from 80 to 10. In other words, it's overwhelming. Well, yeah, for sure. And why do you think I like OKC so much? And I know the flopping of SGA and all that, and give me a break. It's just the way the sport is. You're never going to get away from that. That's always going to be soccer and basketball. You're going to have flopping. Just the way it works. I don't know what to tell you.
Just the way it is. Some things will never change.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They passed a law in 1964 to give those who ain't got a little more, but it only goes so far. So,
which head coach runs the best offense?
Our guy was up at
Rick Carlisle got 53%. Yeah. Chris Finch tied for second with 10% of the vote.
Yeah. He runs that complicated. I think he runs the wishbone or the double wing tee or something like that. It's a great offense.
As you mentioned,
a lot of people like it.
Micah Nori was the best assistant coach in the NBA with 25% of the vote. And then, which active player will make the best head coach someday? Tied for second, Mike Conley.
Yeah, Mike
17%.
Conley. Yes. Now I'm glad you found the story because there were more than 2 Timberwolves in there.
There's more. The Timberwolves keep showing up. Which team is the most fun to watch?
Oh, that's the Minnesota Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves are tied for fourth.
Yeah.
7% behind.
A lot of fun. A lot of people like
Denver,
watching
Oklahoma City, Indiana, and then they're tied with Golden State. Think about that. They got Steph Curry, and we're equal in terms of entertainment value.
Well, we're fun. We got Ant, we got Gobert, we got Beranger. Are we included in anything else?
Which team will have the league's most efficient offense this season?
Well, the Wolves.
Well, Cleveland's at 40%, OKC at 30%, Denver's at 20%, Minnesota's in the also receiving votes.
Also receiving votes.
Which player is the most athletic? Amen Thompson of Houston, 58%. Second is Anthony Edwards with 23% of the vote.
What was that one again? I'm sorry, I was looking at
Which player is the most athletic?
Oh.
So Anthony Edwards is the second most athletic player in the NBA.
And who's number 1?
Something called Amen Thompson.
Yeah, well, you know what? Who do you think would win in an arm wrestling contest? Beranger last night, Tennessee. He played 19 minutes. He had 3 rebounds and 2 points. Sounds like he should be playing in the D League down in Iowa. That's not a bad start for the kid. 3 boards, 2 points. They played Dillingham and who's the other guy we want to see get a lot of time? Shannon.
Shannon Jr.
They both played a lot. Dillingham played 22 minutes. He had 10 points, 5 assists, 2 boards. That's a nifty little 22 minutes. And then how about Shannon? He had 11 points, 1 assist, and 8 rebounds. So, so both those guys got some significant playing time, and they're going to need to because we're going to count on them, So, maybe our winter sports teams, Tennessee, will be
Do you like parades?
I do. Has there ever been a dual parade? Let me ask you a question if you know this. Has one city ever had the NBA and NHL champions in one year? I bet.
I would assume it's happened once.
I don't know.
Like maybe like the Boston Bruins and Celtics at the same time?
Yeah, probably. Or, well, the Rangers haven't won a Stanley Cup in about 40, 50 years, so I don't think it's New York. Of course, the Islanders. But the Knickerbockers haven't won in 30 years.
Looks like it's never happened.
It's never happened before. Well,
it says examples of close calls. Boston had both the Celtics and Bruins in the finals in 1957, 1958. New York had the Knicks and Rangers in the finals in 1972 and 1994. Okay. The 1994 instance was particularly close, with the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup the day after the Knicks tied the NBA Finals series, but the Knicks went on to lose in the series in Game 7. And then Philadelphia saw both the 76ers and Flyers reach their finals in 1980, though only the 76ers won their title.
Yeah, so it's never happened before. Timmy,
in 2024, the Dallas Mavericks and Dallas Stars both made it to the Western Conference Finals.
You can use this the next time the Tanner Fitzgerald set sail. You can use this. Write this down because you might not remember.
I'm setting sail 6 days from now.
When you set sail, there's a first time for everything. What if would we be the most unlikeliest of cities with our awful? I mean,
we're due.
We're due. We're overdue. As a matter of fact, it's the kind of thing where if our sports teams were pregnant women and that overdue, they would induce labor. They would just say, it was time. We got to do something.
The roulette wheel has hit red like 150 times in a row.
Yeah,
it's due to hit black eventually.
I got some murmurings of laughter from the live studio audience from that.
And I wasn't really listening. I was just waiting to talk.
Do you think we'll have a bigger audience here 3 or tomorrow at Max's on the Green and Spicer? We're up to, I'm proud to announce, over 125 tickets sold. Oh my gosh. Word is starting to spread. I tell every club owner that hires us, they start to panic when they go, we're like 3 days out, we got 10 people. And I go, we sell late. Yeah. Because what happens is they go,
they look for better things to do first.
They look for better things to do.
Yeah.
And then they finally go, or they have to convince their wife. No, really. You know those guys who listen to the radio, they're coming to town to do, they're like, well, wait a minute now. I don't even like them on the radio. And you want me to go with you to a club and pay money to watch them talk? I think that's part of the problem is convincing their.
Well, I think part of that too, because I'm very familiar with that aspect of it, and we can talk about it with Little B as well. Like, let's say you go, Tennessee, do you want to golf with me Thursday?
Yeah.
And I've got like 6 days in advance.
Yeah.
I wait until the day where my wife's in the best mood and is liking me the most before I ask, right?
Yes.
So if in the first 3 days I'm not getting a great vibe from her, I don't ask her then.
No, that's exactly
You got to wait and wait and wait until you find the right time.
Yeah, you have to wait for the time. Now, are you also a believer in the it's better to say you're sorry than ask for permission? So in other words, you just go play with me right when we get down on the air.
Better ask for forgiveness than permission?
Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah, and you just go, I thought we talked about it. I thought you.
Oh, did I forget to do that?
Yeah, did I forget? I could have swore I told you.
I'm sorry, baby.
Today, yeah, that's kind of how it works with me as well. So, yeah. Anyway, we won 5-0. We're on pace. This is so much fun. Matter of fact, what we should do is really enjoy it now because we could lose the next 5, I suppose, right? I mean, that's the way. You know what? We're not going to lose any more games. Somebody said, and I did, and I know I shouldn't admit this working at the All Sports radio station. Did Common see how Philly lost the series to the Dodgers last night? How did they lose? Do you know? I know they were up 1-0. It was late in the game, and then it was 2-1. What could have happened?
I had hockey practice, and then I watched the Wild, so I did not get a chance to see else.
What happened?
Went into extra innings, right? And then the Pages hit one back to the pitcher and overthrew the pitcher.
No.
Overthrew the catcher. And
overthrew the catcher. The game is over. Oh, that'll haunt him forever.
That's the pitcher overthrew the catcher?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Isn't that amazing how pitchers at that level could basically throw 100 strikes in a row?
And cannot throw.
And then if they have to throw to first base or the catcher, all of a sudden they freak out.
Especially when there's that much pressure when the season's on the line. Some guys can handle the pressure. Some guys can't. I mean, you've had that's a bad one. The worst probably of all time, that was the Bill Buckner one, right? playing Boston and the Mets in the World Series and went right through Buckner's legs at first base. I mean, that's about as bad as you can get. Well, we had last season, Ravens, tight end, didn't he drop what would have been a 2
Mark
point?
Andrews.
Yeah, that was just awful, too. And then Jackie Smith, first female tight end in the history of pro football for the Cardinals, dropped a pass. He was in the end zone. He was on his knees, and the ball came right into his gut, and he dropped the ball. And I think that would have won the game for him as well. So,
I'm about to watch the highlight of this.
Oh,
Yeah, so bases loaded.
okay.
Right back to the pitcher. Well, I see.
He double clutched.
Well, it kind of like hit his foot, so
Okay.
he didn't field it cleanly. So then he was trying to pick it up, and then I felt they rushed it. But that was one of the worst throws I've ever seen.
It was like hockey throwing out the first pitch at a Twins game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just terrible. Well, that'll happen. Now, what are you going to do? Okay, let's do this. We effectively, literally, and figuratively killed that last segment. I mean, there's no life left in it. It's just dead. Cold, dead, rigor mortis laden segment. That's cool too, because we'll pick up the pace. Lil B, the feminine touch of the program, she joins us next right here on the Fan.